Toastmaster Sangamithra, I want you to fail. I want you to fail, Toastmaster Sangamithra.
Am I visible and audible clearly?
Yes, you are.
Thank you, Toastmaster Satish. I want you to fail. Hello, fellow Toastmasters. I am Sangamithra. Before I start, I would like to share a favorite quote of mine. To be happy, you must eliminate two things. One is the fear of a bad future, and the other is a bad memory of your past. I want you to fail. Coming to this, you might be unclear about the topic I'm here. Yes, you heard me right. I want you to fail your interview. I want you to mess up your presentation. I want you to try something so big that you fall flat on your face. Because if you don't fail, you're not playing big enough. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you did something that scared you? Not mildly uncomfortable, not slightly nervous. I mean, heart racing, palms sweating, voice shaking, and scared. For most of us, the answer is it's been a while. Why so? Because we are tried or we are trained to avoid failure. From childhood till now, we have been told that don't make mistakes, be careful, play safe, slowly, without realizing what is happening, we stopped trying. We stopped raising our hands. We stopped sharing our ideas. We stopped applying for opportunities. We stopped dreaming loudly. Not because we can't, but because we are afraid to fail. But here's the truth, failure is not the opposite of success, failure is the process of success. Think on your feet. A baby doesn't learn to walk without falling, an athlete doesn't win without losing, a leader does not grow without any mistakes. Yet, we fail once and we label ourselves, I'm not good enough, I'm not talented, this is not for me. No, failure is not a label, it is a feedback. Okay, let me be concise. Two people apply for the same job opportunity. One says, I might fail, and so I won't try. The other says, I might fail, but I'll learn. Who grows? Yes, the second one. Every single time, the one who wants to learn, who wants to try, wins. Now, let me tell you something uncomfortable. Most people don't fail because they try and lose. They fail because they never try at all. The biggest failure in life is playing small. And one of my biggest failure in life is not trying to experience all kind of activities that I am so much interested in. Be it comes to me or not, I just wanted to give it a try. Staying in your comfort zone, avoiding risks, choosing safety over growth. This is the comfort zone. It feels warm, it feels safe, it feels predictable, but it is also a cage. And you know what? Cages are comfortable until you realize you're trapped. So, yes, I want you to fail. I want you to apply for the internship, even if you don't think you're not ready for it. I want you to speak when your voice shakes. I want you to start the project, even if you don't know anything about it. Because confidence doesn't come before action, confidence comes before the motivation to do something that you are desperate about. Let me tell you a secret. The people you admire, the more they failed more times than you ever tried. Entrepreneurs failed in business, writers rejected manuscripts, speakers, awkward speeches. You're slightly seeing their highlight reel, not their bloopers. And there is something beautiful. Failure builds character, it builds resilience, it builds humility, it builds courage. Because when you fall and you stand up again, you realize something powerful. I survived. And once you know you can survive a failure, you become unstoppable. Would you attempt if you're failing, if you were afraid of failing? Would you start a business? Would you learn a new skill? Would you lead? Would you dream big? Failure is not what stops us. Fear is. So today, I'm not asking you to succeed. I'm asking you to try, to risk embarrassment, to risk rejection, to risk being imperfect because perfection is an illusion. Growth is real. 6 months from now, you will either say, I wish I had tried, or I'm glad I failed because it made me better. The choice is yours. So fail. Fail loudly, fail bravely, fail intelligently. But whatever you do, don't fail by staying the same. Don't fail by being in the safe, comfortable space. But growth is powerful. So, yes, I want you to fail, and I want you to fail as many times as possible, even on a particular single day. Success has no choice but to find you. With that being said, thank you for listening so far. Now, I'd like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Satish.
To evaluate the first speaker, Toastmaster Sangamithra, inviting her evaluator, Toastmaster Umamaheswari, on stage. Toastmaster Uma, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Kundavi. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and especially my target speaker, Toastmaster Sangamithra. What a controversial title. I don't think many will be very confident or bold enough to take such a negative title and give a speech with such good confidence. My first congratulations for you to boldly taking up this title. That itself captured the integrity of the audience. And the way you used wordplays, I loved the casual usage of words. Like, especially I loved when you said, what we see are highlights, not their bloopers. So that is quite different, the way we put it up. I love the way you use it. And the voice modulation is really good, but let me look into the voice modulation is of two parts. So one, I stress on the emphasis part, which was very good, used in a very subtle way to highlight the importance, like mentioning all the important points, you use the right emphasis. And even though you're sitting, you try to move forward to show, to stop when something is important, to ask a question and move backward. You use even the sitting posture effectively to communicate through your speech. I loved all these 4 points in your speech. But as your speech evaluator, I have a couple of suggestions for you, and I'm going to split my suggestions into 2 parts. One good to have and one must have. So what are the good to have factors? Since this is a project of introduction to vocal variety and body language, I ideally suggest you to stand up and give a speech. Not every speech you need to stand up, but certain speeches where you need to highlight the hand gestures, body movements, because vocal variety and body language is not only your hand, using your complete physique. So when you stand up and give your speech, you can move. When you're talking dialogues, you can turn. All those things you can do, which will always highlight your project need. So try giving a speech standing for the projects where is it need of. And sometimes I saw you were looking slightly up, thinking what to talk next and talk back. You try to avoid it because when we do casual conversation, that looks good. But when we are giving speeches, that might impact while you're giving speech. Now coming to the must to have part. Voice modulation emphasis was good, but I kind of felt you have to take care of your passes, especially the punctuational pass, full stops, commas, that and all is okay. But it was a steady flowing train like Rajdhani Express. What we need is stations in between for us to capture things. So like especially when you said you become unstoppable, you used right emphasis, but without pass, it didn't give an impact. And when you said, yet we fail once, yet we fail once, that pause will always give an impact. Try to give them some pauses in between your speech. And the speech structure, I kind of felt it was a complete narrative speech where there was not a personal touch given. Either you could have shared at least one of your personal experience where you failed and it was okay to fail, where you took a bold step to fail. Some personal touch of your speech will always make us to remember your speech for a long period of time. And a stamping start and a stamping end will always make a speech more effective. You had a great question at the first half of your speech, like when were you more scared? You could have started your speech with a question, and you have a great, beautiful triad at the end of your speech, like fail big, fail bold. You could have used it in final statement, because both are very promising statements, but you used in between, which lost its importance. So overall, it was a great title, good wordplay. You used even your sitting posture effectively and wonderful emphasis. But what I want you to work on is the passes, the personal touch in your story, your speech structure, and a stamping start and end. My best wishes to you, and back to the general evaluator.